Good evening, ladies and gents, and welcome to another Q8 pilot stream. It is 1700 Zulu, 2000 hours local time here in Kuwait City, Kuwait. Today, we are going to be flying the Queen of the Skies, the majestic jumbo jet 747-200 Classic by Felis. Before we delve into the details, I want to welcome all of you guys here in chat. We have today with us Mr. Rand Cooley, my very dear friend. Welcome aboard. And Mr. Valront, looks like you've changed your username. Welcome aboard. Glad to have you here with us. And we have no other than... Oh, you changed your username as well from Logan, New Jersey. Boeing Corp Mike, welcome aboard. Glad to have you with us. And Justin Blue. Justin, welcome aboard. Andre, welcome. Glad to have you here. Taurus 57, welcome aboard. Glad to have you guys here. And we have also Ayman Khader. Welcome aboard. Glad to have you here with us. And Wasim Safi is in the house, ladies and gents. How are you doing, Wasim? Glad that you've finally made it. And I hope that you enjoy the show. Morgus, welcome aboard. Glad to have you here. And Dougal McTavish, welcome aboard. Glad to have you here. I think the username thing is a YouTube thing. Is it? Oh, okay. Well, this aircraft is probably one of the most complex aircraft available in X-Plane. It is an in-depth simulation of the 747 Classic, a very nostalgic experience flying this aircraft. I love the KLM livery on the 742, and so today we are going to be taking a flight from Kastrup in Denmark to Copenhagen, to Schiphol in the Netherlands. Our approximate flight time is 1 hour, but it's going to take us some time to set this beast up. Now, the thing about the 747 by Felis is that when you are operating this aircraft, you're essentially operating the workload of 3 people: the captain, the first officer, and the flight engineer. So back in the day, the 747 used to be piloted by 3 individuals: the pilot, the co-pilot, and the flight engineer. So that said, let's hop into the beautiful and complex aircraft's cockpit. And as you can see here, a very, very detailed panel here, the engineer panel. But once you get, the hang of it and understand what these panels do, it becomes kind of, a little bit easy. It takes a little bit of learning to learn this aircraft, but nonetheless, a great fun to fly this aircraft. And this is by far the very best 747, in my opinion, classic aircraft that you can put your hands on. If you are waiting for a recommendation, I recommend this with confidence. Hands down, one of the best aircraft available for flight simulation. So, what we're going to be doing today first is we are going to set up the weight and balance, set things up, and then we will bring electrical power to the aircraft. We are going to be using INSs today, so the inertial navigation system, again, very, very old but very effective navigation device for our flight today. So without further ado, let's get started. Let me bring up our SimBrief flight plan. As you can see here, we are flying today from Copenhagen to Schiphol. We are KLM 1267, a real-world flight for this route. We are going to be departing runway 30 here from Copenhagen. We have very good headwind here. 18-knot headwind should help us with an immediate liftoff at our V-rotate. The departure is the Langtree Delta departure through the Longo transition. We are going to be cruising at a final cruise altitude of 32,000 feet, arriving a little under an hour later at Schiphol runway 27 through the Bluff 1 Alpha arrival, beg your pardon. So the star is the Bluff 1 Alpha. Right. So we're going to go to the SimBrief flight plan, and you'll see that the altitude is probably 38,000, but we'll just, it says 38, but we're just going to go with 32 today. Right. So we are going to come over here and we are going to take a note of, let me make this a little bigger here so you guys can see. I think the text may be a little too small. There we go. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to the refuel, and we need today for this flight 22,014. So we're going to round this up to 23,000 kilos of fuel. So we're going to need to drain a little bit of fuel here. So we're going to go ahead and drain until we reach 23,000. So that's 23.3 and instant refuel, just in the interest of time. And then we're going to go to the payload, and we're going to take a note of our passengers here. 256 people to board this flight to Schiphol. So let's go ahead and add 256 passengers, and we're going to add the cargo until we arrive at the zero fuel weight assigned in the SimBrief flight plan. So 256, there we go. And the cargo to load is 6.4, but we're going to pay attention to the zero fuel weight, which is 202. So we're going to add here until we get 202, about 1,500 kilos, 1.5 tons, and instant board and load. All right, perfect. We can put this away now, and we can now go to the engineer panel. So let's head over there. And what we want here is we want to turn on the electrical, we want the battery so we can bring up some electrical power to the aircraft. So battery is on, and we can see that the battery is just charging, as you can see here. So we're going to come here to the electronic flight bag real quick. We're going to go to ground and...
Cockpit to ground. Put the chocks on.
And connect the GPU.
Cockpit to ground. Connect ground power.
All right. So now the ground crew will take care of that for us. All right, we can see the external power is now connected, and the chocks are connected as well. So the first thing we're going to do is connect external power, and we can come here now and set the standby power to normal, and this will bring electrical power to the aircraft. Perfect. Now, the way we're going to do this is we're going to do a quick check here on this instruments. We're going to set up the overhead panel, and then we're going to come back to the flight engineer station again to complete all the tests. So very quickly here, this is the APU panel. Your auxiliary power is located here. All your bus ties are located here. Your oil temps are down here, and your engine instruments are located down here. We're going to leave those alone. We're going to come over here. Now, up here is the oxygen. So we're going to just test it, make sure that it works, which it does. Excellent. Then we're going to come back here again. Passenger oxygen is normal. Galley power, we'll leave those. Actually, we can turn these on. That's okay. And we'll leave this for now. We can put this on auto. Galley chillers we don't need. We'll come down here. This is all good. We're going to check the CSD oil temperature. And this is, again, just to make sure that the gauges do work. We're going to put this on external power 1. We can see that there is a positive charge here for our AC power. Next, we're going to come down here, and we're going to make sure that we have the correct gross weight and the total fuel for the flight, about 23.3. This is exactly what we've entered. And we are going to press the gauges here to test the fuel gauges. And the test is being performed. Okay. Next, we're going to come over here. Everything here looks good. Trim air can be on. We'll leave everything here on normal and auto. Humidifier we'll leave alone for the time being. We'll leave the packs off for the time being, as well as the recirc fans. And coming down here, we are going to set the flight cabin altitude to 32,000 feet. And we're also going to grab the altimeter. So we're going to go here to weather, and the altimeter is 1016. 101516. There we go. That's about right. Excellent. And we're going to come back here. We'll leave everything here alone. Everything here looks good. Your hydraulics here, we'll leave that alone here. And we're going to come here. We're just going to make sure that the fuel jettison panel is checked and that all the switches are in the off position. Perfect. Next, we're going to come over to the other side here. Let me go. There we go. So next, we want to check here the oxygen again. So we're going to make sure that the oxygen is good and everything's good here, tested, and everything is working exactly as it should. Perfect. So now, this is a three-man job. Yes, it is. All right. So now we're going to go to the overhead panel. And from the overhead panel, we're going to do, again, left to right, top to bottom, and flight control, hydraulic power. Everything here looks good. We're going to come down here and make sure that the auto brake is off. The anti-skid is on. Body gear steering is on. And then moving up here, we're going to put the adheres on standby for the time being. And we're going to come down here. Everything here is good. We'll put this on USB. And then we're going to come here and test the fire detection. We'll test the cockpit voice recorder. I love how the needle just moves. All right, so that's good. And then we're going to arm the emergency light.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. On behalf of the entire crew, welcome aboard the Boeing 747 Classic. We will depart shortly after we have our clearance and the cabin crew is finished with their preparations. For now, I wish you a pleasant flight, and I will be back during the flight with further flight information.
All right, perfect. Here we go. And non-smoking sign, fasten seatbelt sign is on. And everything here is good. The wipers are off. Next, we're going to come here and make sure everything here is good. We'll put this on USB again. By the way, this doesn't do anything. It's modeled for completeness sake, but there is no function for it. So we're going to come now up here and we're going to turn on the radio master switches on. Let's perform the stall warning, Mach speed warning test, over rotation test, and coming here, wing anti-ice test. Works fine. And the probe heat test, again, is good. We're going to turn on the window heat. Excellent. And next, we're going to turn on the nav lights on. And we are pretty much now done with the overhead panel. All right, so let's cancel the master caution here. Now, we're going to go to our, let's see here. Let's go to our INSs and test them out. All right, and we're going to test this one here as well. All right, everything works exactly as it should. Now, we are, if we click here, we are currently positioned at Foxtrot 8, stand F8 is where we are. And so we need to go to our Navigraph charts. We're going to go to the charts here at Castro. We're going to select taxi, and from taxi, we're going to select the parking stand coordinates, and we're going to look for F8. So if you look here, F7 and F8 stand numbers have these coordinates, and these are the coordinates. Let me zoom in here. So F7 and F8 have a coordinates of north 5537.5, east 01239.5 minutes. So we're going to enter that here in the flight plan. Or in the INS device. So let me do the following. Let me zoom in here a little bit so you guys can follow along. And we're going to set this on position. And this is the position that we want to enter for F8. So we're going to enter here north and then 5537.5, 5537.5, insert. And the east position is 012. What happened there? All right, let's clear that. Why is it complaining about the battery? All right, let's try this one more time. North 5537.5, insert, and then we're going to go east, let's see here. East is 01239.5. Insert. All right. So now we have the position here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the overhead panel here, and because this is going to take some time, so we're going to put this on a line. And now we're going to complete the rest of the, we need to enter the position into the other units as well. So we are going to come here and set this to position. And then we need to enter the position in the second and third INS devices. So we're going to come here again. We're going to put north. And we want 5537.5, 5537.5. Insert. And the east position is east 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2, 3, 9, 5, and insert. And now we have the initial position here in the INS. Next, we're going to go to the third INS device, which is located right here. And we're going to do the same thing. All right, so we're going to set this to position. And again, we're going to enter the position north, 5537.5, insert, and then the east position, east is 0, 1, 2, 395, 395, and insert. Perfect. So now we have the positions entered here. And now we're going to do all the checks here, all the checks on the engineer panel. So the first thing we're going to do here is we're going to do the instrument check. So we're going to check here, and this check's okay. And then we're going to test the height instrument there as well. There we go. And it checks okay. Now to check the ILS, we need to tune in any ILS frequency here into the VHF radio. And then just click up and down, and you can see that the ILS here is tested. We're going to test the lights here, and then we're going to come here and do the instrument warning test, and that checks okay as well. Next, we're going to come down here, and we're going to check the altitude alert test, the ground proximity warning test, and the rudder test. We can see the there on the CAS messages there, we see rudder ratio. So all is good here. And then we're going to do the same thing here on the first officer side as well. So we're going to test the instrument here, check that, and we're going to test the height. There we go. And that checks okay. And all the tests here are now complete. Perfect. Next, we're going to come here to the central pedestal. We're going to set the weather to standby. And this is already on standby. And we're going to select EPR here. And this is all good here. Okay, so everything is good here. Now we can go to the engineer station and perform the test there. Now, actually what we'll do is we will go ahead and start the APU. Oh, well, we can wait for the APU a little bit. Let's leave it alone for now. Let's do this, the test, and the fire test A and B. All right, all the tests here are complete. Nothing to test here. All is good. All right, and then we're going to come over here and check here. Passenger oxygen is good. We're going to come down here. All is good here. And we're going to come down here. Again, everything looks good to me. APU panel, still we don't need to do anything here. We'll reset the fuel used, and we'll come here now to the rest of the tests here. So let's go ahead and test the squib test for the engines, and then we're going to test the fire test as well for the engine fire detection. And all of that is good. Equipment cooling test is good. There we go. And the aft cargo heat test as well works good, and we'll set it to normal. Then we're going to come here and test the lower cargo fire detection as well. And we'll test, again, the compartments. And there we go. All the fire tests are now complete. Did we do these? Yes, we did. Okay. Finally, the wing overheat test as well is done. And then we're going to come here and test the lamp here for the... okay, what? We need to test the potable water, and all the tests are complete. Now, one important test is the brake pressure test. So this is a quantity test, by the way, as well for the hydraulics. So that is good. And then if we click here and turn on this, now we have hydraulic pressure here. And what this will do is it will extinguish the light here. So now you see the brake source. Now the reserve brake hydraulic system has been pressurized. And so it indicates that the hydraulic system is operational per design intent. Do you know any tools tables to calculate derated takeoff in the 747-200? No, unfortunately, no. All right. So now we can go to the checklist. By the way, we can go to the checklist now. Let's check on our adheres. All right. So we have all green lights, as you can see here. So we're going to set this to nav, set this to nav, and set this to nav. Perfect. Now we can go to the checklist, and we're going to go here, and before start, let's go ahead and start here.
Before start, checklist, please.
One thing we forgot.
Gear lever and lights. Down and check. Brakes. Parked. Start levers. Off. Radios. On and check. Flight control hydraulic power. On. INS. Check and nav. Compasses. Slaved. Window heat. On. Seatbelts and no smoking. On. Emergency lights.
And then, of course, we're going to go through the checklist here.
Armed. Exterior lights. Check. Flight instruments. Check. Altimeters and clocks. 1, 0, 1, 2. Set and cross-check.
I think
Radio
that is not
INS
correct,
switches.
though.
Radio. Radar and transponder. Standby. Indicator lights. Check. Engine and wing anti-ice. Off. Stall warning. Check. Mach airspeed warning. Check. Auto brakes. Check and off. Body gear steering. Arm. Anti-skid. On. Autopilot and flight director. Check and off. Takeoff warning. Check. Auto flight enunciators. Check. GPWS. Check. Instrument warning. Check. Flight director computer selectors. Check. Instrument source selectors. Normal. Reserve brake valve. Closed. Spoilers. Down. Static selectors. Normal. Oxygen mask and regulator. Check and emergency off. Brake pressure. Check. Stabilizer trim. Check and on. Rudder and aileron trim. Check. Checklist completed.
All right, so we are done now with the pilot checklist, and the next one is the before start for the first officer, or beg your pardon, the flight engineer. So there are a few things that we need to do here before we can do that. But before we forget, let me show you guys. So we've entered the first position here, so the initial position. But what we need is the rest of the flight plan. So normally what I like to do in the interest of time, just instead of entering all the waypoints, and by the way, if you don't have Navigraph charts, you can always insert the present position here because it shows the present position here. But we're going to go and say open flight plan. We're going to select our flight plan here, and I'm going to say right from to. And once you click that and you go to the waypoint and you click here, you'll be able to see that all the waypoints have now been entered into the INS device automatically for you. So we're going to put this on waypoint, and we'll leave this one here on the, let's see here. Yeah, we'll leave this on waypoint. We'll leave this one on the position. And now we can go to the engineer's station again to power up the APU and set up the the auxiliary power, and set the aircraft up for the engine start. Okay, so APU, we've already tested everything, so we can start the APU now. We're going to wait for the fuel valve to open. And now we'll just wait for the RPM here. There we go. And now we can see the RPM rising. EGT is rising as well. And once that is on, we can bring the auxiliary power on, turn on the bleed air, and then disconnect the external power. Is this aircraft on sale? I have no idea. You're like the chillest flight sim streamer I've seen. Thanks for that. All right, so here we go. We're gonna turn on the. We're gonna close that and turn on. Now we can. There we go. Oop, there we go. All right, so now we have the APU. We're gonna turn on the APU bleed. Yeah. So now we have the APU connected. Now to make sure that you have the APU power connected to the aircraft before disconnecting the external power, if you come down here, you want to make sure that you click on APU Gen 1 and you'll see that you have a positive load, APU Gen 2, and Gen Test here. Again, you can see that you have a proper load from the APU. Now we can turn on our recirc fans. And now you can disconnect the GPU. So we're going to come here down to the flight engineer station, and we're going to go to ground, and we're going to remove the chocks and disconnect the GPU.
Cockpit to ground. Disconnect ground power.
All right. Now, for engine start, we are going to need the valves,
Chocks removed.
bleed air valves to be open. All right. And we need to close the hydraulic system 4, so that needs to be turned off. And then we need the fuel boost pumps to turn on. Now, a couple of things to note here. You don't need to turn on those two here because we don't have any fuel in the center wing. Obviously, this is a short flight, so you're not going to need that. And you'll see that you have number 1 main, number 4 main. Those are actually, those two, you have number 1 reserve and number 4 reserve. Normally, to keep the balance, you will see that the, you can see that already there's more fuel in number 2 and number 3. So once we're airborne, when the fuel burn starts, we're going to move some of this reserve fuel into the tanks number 1 and number 4. Now everything here is set. We need to set the EPR to go around. Okay. And then we need to come here, turn on the beacon lights on. Okay. And
cabin crew, arm slides.
We're going to ask the cabin crew to close the door and arm the slides. And then we're going to go to the checklist here. Again, a quick look here. Let me just double check the electrical systems here. Everything looks good. All right, perfect. And now we can go for start here.
Battery on. APU panel. Check. Auxiliary power. Check. Engine oil quantity. Check. Fuel quantity. 2, 3, 3, 4, 1 kilograms. Fuel panel. Check and set. Pressurization controls. Check and set. Bleed controls. Check and set. Hydraulic quantity. Check. EPR computer. Go around. Circuit breakers. Check. Indicator lights. Check. Electrical panel. Check and set. Air conditioning controls. Check and set. Fire control and wing overheat panels. Check and set. Equipment cooling. Check. Passenger oxygen. Check. Hydraulic panel. Check and set. Fuel jettison panel. Check. Crew oxygen. On. Oxygen mask and regulator. Check and emergency off. ADPs off. Checklist completed.
All right, so the flight engineer test is now complete, and the next checklist is the after start check. So we are now, ladies and gents, ready to start our engines. Again, as you can see, very simple, not very, not very difficult once you get the hang of it. Again, this is probably, I'm not really following the exact airline procedures, so I might have, skipped some things, but what I've shown you here is what you need to do in order to have a successful flight. And I've done every check that is available to do on the by the Felis 747. And as you can see so far, the checklists are all in green. Nothing has been missed so far as the checklists are concerned. Okay. So now we are ready to go. We can go to better pushback. We're going to say
Ground
start
cockpit,
push.
please show me where you
Now
want to go.
we are going to take taxiway India. So I'm going to position the aircraft right here.
Ground to cockpit, tow is driving up.
And the tow is driving up. And just look at how beautiful this aircraft is. Look at the heat blare, the APU sound. Just really beautiful looking aircraft. The 747 Classic. And look at the beacon light there. Very, very nice. Just really a majestic looking aircraft. Okay, so all is good here. And Felis Leopard, welcome aboard. Good evening to you, my friend. Thank you very much for the help the yesterday. I really appreciate it. And thank you very much, Felis, for creating this rather majestic aircraft for the community to enjoy. One of the best.
Okay, all
really.
doors and hatches are closed, ready to connect.
Right, we're connecting the pushback truck now. All right, in the meantime, let's see.
All doors are closed and armed.
All right, thank you very much. And we're going to come over here and turn on the start valve.
Ready to start the engines.
All right.
Ready for engine start.
All right, so we're ready for engine start now. And we'll just wait for the clearance from ground crew to start the engines. Sauce Boss Guitar, welcome aboard.
Tow connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
Hello there, Krister. Welcome aboard. All right, so we have we can release the parking brake. We need to set this in the green band. All right.
Parking brake released.
Starting pushback, and you may start engine.
All right, we have clearance to start our engines, so we're going to come here to the overhead panel, and we're going to start the sequence 4, 1, 2, 3. So let's start.
Starting engine 4.
Start valve open.
All right, start valve is open. And we'll wait for 20% and 2. As you can see here, engine 4 is pulling up.
20% and 2.
Right, and
Fuel on.
fuel on.
Light up.
All right. Oh, yes. I think the exterior sounds a bit too loud, so we'll bring those down. Very, very nice aircraft. Wow, look at that, guys.
Moonraker 7896, wind 300 degrees, 2 knots, runway 16.
All right.
Just confirm it's runway 16.
I think the engine is now stable, so we're going to go ahead and start engine number 1.
Starting engine 1.
Start valve open.
All right, and we'll wait again for 20%. As you can see here, engine number 1 is coming up.
20% and 2.
Moonraker 789.
All right, and there we go.
Fuel on.
Fuel on.
Light up.
All electronic devices must be set into airplane mode during the flight until further notice.
Operation complete. Set parking brake.
Parking brake set.
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
All right, and we have engine 1 coming up now.
Starter off.
Starter off, and we'll wait for the engine to stabilize, and then we'll start engine number 2.
Engine stabilized.
All right, engine stabilized, and
Starting engine 2.
Starter valve open.
star valve is open. Again, we wait for 20% N2.
20% N2.
Perfect.
Fuel on. Light up.
All right, and we have one more engine to start. Very nice panel
Tow
work.
is disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal on the left. We'll see you next time and have a
Starter
safe
off.
flight.
All right, starter off, and we should have a stable engine.
Engine stabilized.
All right, and engine number 3 is coming up.
Starting engine 3.
Starter valve open.
All right, here we go. Again, we need 20% N2.
20% N2.
Perfect.
Fuel on.
Fuel on.
Light up.
Excellent.
Starter off.
All right, so now we're just going to wait for the last engine to stabilize.
Engine stabilized.
All right, so the engine is stable now, and all engines are successfully started. We can now close the start valve switch, and we are going to... Why does it say power off? Ah, I know why. Okay, so we'll leave this here. All right, so let's go to the engineer panel. And now what we need to do is we need to close the gens. And now we have taken off the electrical power from the auxiliary power to the engine generators. Again, you want to verify this, go to Gen 1, 2, 3, and 4, and all 4 engines are now basically connected and supplying electrical power to the aircraft. And we can now close the auxiliary, there we can, sorry, that's not what, we need turn off the bleed air, and we will stop the APU and close the split system breaker. And now the APU is turning off. We need to turn these on again. And that's it. APU is off. Everything here is good. All right. So now for the check, we need to turn on the packs for the after start check. So we're going to turn those on. We will turn them off again before takeoff. We're going to also put the air pumps on auto. Okay, so that's for the hydraulic pressure. It says record in progress now. And everything else is fine. So we are going to come over here. We're going to set flaps 10.
Flaps 10.
And we got to take a look at the flaps. One of the nicest views is flaps full. When the 747 lands with flaps full, it's just those huge wings look absolutely beautiful. All right, so there we go. We have the flaps set now. And what else do we need to do? We need to come to the overhead panel and turn on the probe heat. We need to do the flight control check. Full up, full down, full left, full right, neutral. And we need to also come over here. We're going to go to performance. We're going to read from sim, and we're going to set the speed bugs, and we're going to make sure that the trim is in the green band, and this is why I clicked on the green band select here earlier, so that the trim is in the green band for takeoff. Okay, so we're going to go now to the checklist, and we're going to go for the after start check.
After start checklist.
Flight recorder.
On.
Start switches.
Off.
Beacon lights.
On.
Brake pressure.
Check.
Start levers.
Idle detent.
Engine and the ice.
Off.
Electrical panel. Check. Pack valves. Open. Dual warning lights. Out. Hydraulic panel. Check. Flight recorder. On. After start checklist completed.
And the after start checklist is complete, and now we have the taxi checklist. So flaps are done, takeoff and EPR data are set, probe heat, flight control. All right, let's go ahead and start it.
Taxi checklist, please.
Flaps. Flaps 10.
Flaps 10.
Takeoff data. EPR and airspeed bugs.
They're already set. Let's make sure we have EPR here.
Set and cross-check.
There we go. Once that. Okay.
Stabilizer trim.
Set in green band.
Probe heat.
On.
Flight controls.
Check.
Yaw dampers.
Check.
Seat belts and shoulder harness.
Check.
APU. Off. Fuel heat. Off. Totalizer and gross weight. Set. Flight engineer and pilot panels. Check. Aft cargo heat. Normal. Seat belts and shoulder harness. Check. Taxi checklist completed.
All right, and the taxi checklist is complete. I do understand that this aircraft takes a bit of time to set up, guys, and this is the reason why I'm not interacting a lot with chat, because I do want to chat. I do want to set this aircraft up correctly, and for you guys also to get the maximum benefit as well. All right, so everything here is good. Now, one thing we want to set before we depart, we want to set our radios on INS. Okay. Now, once you set it, we're going to see 74 miles. So this is exactly the distance to our next waypoint. And we are going to set this here also on INS. We're going to fly runway heading and then make the turn to intercept our flight path. Everything here is set. Everything here is set. So all is good here. Okay. We're good to go, and let's take a look here. There isn't a taxi light per se. So if I look here, yeah, I don't think there is a specific taxi light. So maybe runway turnoff lights, we'll turn those on, and we're good to go. All right, parking brake released.
Parking brake released.
And off we go. Let's give it a little power here. Very, very nice sounds. Look at it, guys. Wow. Right, so we want runway 30, so we're going to take, I believe, taxiway. If we come here, Let's remove that real quick. And the sim brief plan. Let me click here. All right, here we are. So we're going to take taxiway India for all the way down to runway 30. So let's make the turn here. And we're going to go all the way. Ooh, look at that beautiful landing right there. Nice. A buttery landing there. It looks like a British Airways flight. All right, clear left, clear right. Very, very nice aircraft. The Felis 747-200 Classic. As a matter of fact, I think this is probably one of the most advanced aircraft available today for flight simulation in general. Just really an incredible rendition of a very nostalgic aircraft. I don't think this is something, I don't think we can go there, but I'm going to go there nonetheless. And we're going to make the turn there for runway 30. Alright, and what I'm going to do here is put this on INS2. There is our turn for runway 30. Yeah, the ground markings are not correct here, probably. Yeah, it wants us to go. We'll do that. We'll do what it wants. All right. Now, one thing that I will do after we line up on the runway, actually what I'm going to do is the before start checks. We're going to do them after we line up. And the reason being the body steering is required to make that final turn to line up with the runway. And then we'll do the checks. So let's do that. We're going to line up here on runway 30. Should be sufficient. We have sufficient headwind coming into the aircraft, and the 747 has a very long wingspan, which gives it a lot of lift power. So let me go ahead now and turn on our landing lights on. We're going to turn on the strobes on. We're going to come here and tell
cabin crew, take your seats.
Right, so cabin crew will take their seats. We're going to also come over here and we're going to turn off the packs in preparation for takeoff. All right, so packs are off, and let's see here. We're going to come here to the next list. Transponder is TARA. Okay, excellent. EPR computer is set, and I believe the EPR mode is fine. And we need to disconnect the body steering, so that's off. And the switches here need to go to flight start. So let's turn those on to flight start. And that's pretty much everything we need to do here. So packs are closed. Fuel adjustment. Yeah. All right. Let's go ahead and do
before takeoff checklist.
Before takeoff check.
Icing considerations.
Check.
Cabin alert.
Check.
Transponder.
Why is it not happy with the transponder? Ah,
check.
TARA. Okay.
Ignition.
Flight start.
Body gear steering.
Disarm.
Pack valves. Closed. Pressurization mode selector. Auto. Fuel boost pumps. On. Cross feed valves. Check. Before takeoff checklist completed.
All right, ladies and gents, we are cleared for takeoff runway 30. We're going to add a little bit of power here.
Stabilized.
Stabilized, and there we go. EPR mode is on.
Thrust set.
80 knots.
Check. Thrust hold.
V1. Rotate.
Doesn't take very much to rotate a 747 thanks to its very powerful engines.
Positive rate.
Gear up.
Gear up.
How about that?
Gears up.
All right. We can retract the flaps.
Flaps up.
All right, let's pitch down a little bit. And we'll begin the turn.
Now's the level off.
We didn't set our altitude, did we? All right, that's okay. Let's go ahead and turn on the autopilot command. We'll go to IAS. We'll select 32,000 feet. Alt select. Flight directors on. Yeah, speed is a bit too high, but that's all right. Let's set this up to all right. So if we look now, look at that, guys. Wow. All right, so we can go to climb right here.
10,000.
Right, 10,000 feet. We're going to come here, turn the packs on. And we're going to also set the fuel heat to auto. We're going to release the passengers, and we can now go to the after takeoff checklist.
After takeoff checklist.
Gear lever.
Hold on.
We need to put this in the off position.
Landing and logo lights.
Off.
Ignition.
Check.
Seatbelts and no smoking sign.
Check.
Back valves. Open. Fuel heat. Auto. After takeoff checklist completed.
And the after takeoff checklist is complete. Too much power with the TOD, yeah. Yeah, so we took it to climb right there. So yeah, thanks for that, Felis. Appreciate it. Very, very nice aircraft all together. Let's take a look at the wing views here. Look at that. There is a nice wing flex as well. And those beautiful engines. I tell you, Felis, on another, in a previous stream, I told the community that if Joe Sutter was alive today, that he'd be very proud to see this rendition of the 747 in X-Plane 12. There we go. Continue our climb. Look at the beautiful clouds, guys, in X-Plane 12. Right, and Barrow 2992 is set. 2992 is set. There we go. looking good. All right, we're going to continue now the climb to 32,000 feet. And if you look at our Navigraph charts here, you can see that we are going to, so we departed there. We didn't really follow the line 3, but this is Lango. This is where our INS is pointing to. We did not really fly correctly the SID, so we didn't fly the standard instrument departure today, but the INS is now taking us exactly to Lango, which is the end of the SID. So we just made a left turn to intercept the flight path, and the INS will do the rest for us. Very short flight, 300 nautical miles to our destination. Look at those beautiful clouds though, guys. Wow. X-plane is beautiful. All right, back in the cabin here, we are still climbing to our cruise altitude, 32,000 feet. This is not just an add-on, it's a work of art made with passion. Many thanks, Felis. Yes, it is made of passion, and this project is, see, Felis hasn't created that many aircraft. There are a couple of Felis aircraft out there, but they are top-notch. This one here is, in my opinion, one of the few must-have. I label this as a must-have aircraft. If you're into airliners, if you're into classics, this aircraft will give you pretty much everything that you're looking for. It's got beautiful visuals, it's got beautiful sounds. I don't really mind the cabin too much because it is a large aircraft and there is a good balance between visual quality and performance. So Felis has really put in all the effort into the cockpit here, making sure that the cockpit looks good, that the textures are very representative of the real aircraft, and for the cabin, the textures aren't that good, and that's just to save really on for performance reasons. And I'm completely okay with this because this is as close as you can get to a real 747 in a flight sim. Just really beautiful, very, very high fidelity. The hand flying this aircraft is a joy. It's a wonderful aircraft to fly, and it's got this really heavy feel. You really feel like it, especially when you take off. First of all, you'll see that on takeoff, the 747 with flaps 10 and those 4 powerful engines, it doesn't really take much for it to lift off the ground. So it can really take off from very short distance, which is very, very cool. All right, so here, in a second here, we're going to move to speed. We're still in EPR, so that's okay. Once we level off at 32,000 feet, we will switch to speed, and we'll leave it at speed for the remainder of the flight until we begin our descent and arrival into Schiphol.
Cabin ready.
We should have clicked at that a little earlier, but that's all right. Very complex aircraft. A real joy to fly. And takes a little bit of learning to, fly the 747 Classic successfully. But once you really get the hang of it, then it's really one of the most enjoyable aircraft, and it really does bring a lot of joy to your flying experience. There's a lot to learn, and I highly recommend, guys, that you join the Felis Discord. It's really an incredible source of information as well. What are some of the older planes that really are well made? Well, you've got the 727 and the 737 Classic by Fly Jason. Unfortunately, those have not yet been ported to X-Plane 12. So yeah, so we're gonna need a little bit of time before those are made available for X-Plane 12, if ever. Right, about 1,000 feet to go. Looks like a lot of you guys are watching the FS Expo, which has officially started. Stan, our friend, has posted a message on the Q8 Pilot Discord with XB72. So I was very happy. They actually did it for me, so I was pretty happy about that. So thank you. Big shout out to XB72 and to my very good friend Stan, who's currently attending FS Expo in Providence. Mr. Intelligent AC, Dubai Royal Family 747 landed into Dublin today. It was an amazing experience to be there, watching it landing and departing. Oh, very cool. You're a lucky man. All right. So here is the 32,000 feet. We're almost there now. And all right, so we don't want, we can, all right, so 32,000 feet. And what we'll do is we're going to hold the altitude there. We're going to come here and select speed. And now the aircraft will adjust the speed to 278 knots. So we'll bring the speed down a little bit. And we're looking just fine. Look at those clouds, guys. Wow. The clouds are looking fantastic today. Let's take a look. Look at that. Those contrails. Wow. Now that's what I'm talking about, guys. Speaking of immersion, that is very immersive. Wow, this scene is absolutely incredible. Look at that. Woohoo! Those contrails are beautiful. Tell you, X-Plane is starting to look gorgeous. Look at those clouds. All right, so one thing I need to do, I need my lossless scaling, because Schiphol, for some reason, is an airport. The vicinity of Schiphol requires lossless scaling. The frames will drop significantly there. So we're going to start it now, and we'll just make use of lossless scaling for the remainder of our flight. We are now, you can see now the speed is going to hold at 278 knots. We can increase it maybe a little bit, but we'll just leave it for now. And checking quickly here on Navigraph charts, you can see now that the INS device has brought the aircraft exactly where it should be. Runway 27, by the way, if we go to our flight here, runway 27 app here, runway 27, there we go. So if we look at runway 27, by the way, the INS is going to bring us all the way to Luffa right here. So after that, we are going to fly this heading direct here, and then we are going to make some heading adjustments, and we are not going to do the at trip. So normally it would come down here, maybe. Yeah, it's actually going to come down here, make the turn this way, and intercept the ILS. What we're going to be doing is we're going to make some heading adjustments, and we are going to set things up there for 111.55. So I'm going to come to here. We're set at 111.55. We'll set this now, 111.55, and the approach course is 266. Okay, so all right, 266, and we'll do the same thing on the first officer's side, 266. There we go. All right, and if you see here now what's going on right here, you can see it's exactly on the flight path beginning from Lango, because this is the first waypoint after our SID, and this is what we've entered into the INS. All right, perfect. Again, very, very nice clouds today. The sim is really looking great. We have with us Yasim. I wonder if that's who I think it is, but well, welcome aboard. Yes, glad to have you with us on this live stream. And we want to also say, how do you record with lossless scaling on? Because for some reason it disables my NVIDIA recording. It shouldn't disable your NVIDIA recording, but I don't use NVIDIA recording anymore for recording footage. I always use OBS Studio. That's what I normally use for recording videos. It's much better. It gives me a lot more control, and I can set up different cameras, turn on cameras, disable them. So it gives me a lot more granular control over what I want to do. I can even do, during a recorded video, I can have multiple inputs with OBS Studio. So I use it, and I prefer it over the NVIDIA recorder. LOLs Packs just installed XP, can't wait to try it. Went from MSFS. I'm sure you're going to have a lot of fun with it. I am, by the way, planning something for you guys. I am planning a dedicated stream to general aviation aircraft, and I'm going to be going through some of my favorite general aviation aircraft. There are really some general aviation jewels in X-Plane that have been completely forgotten. And just the reason being is people, generally speaking, are not interested in general aviation aircraft. Serious flyers, though, those people who have a private pilot license, for example, will prefer general aviation over airliners. But for the vast majority of flight simmers, they want to see the big planes. And for this reason, you'll see a lot of the content from the simulation community is for airliners. One good subject to maybe also talk about in upcoming streams is the number of flight sim stores available today to sell software. You have the Inibuild store, the Sim Market, Aerosoft One, Contrail. There's just a ton of stores out there. So maybe we'll reserve that topic for another stream. And Q8 fly the Avanti P180 for us in MSFS. Boeing Core Mike, yeah. I might do that. Is it available for 2024 yet? Do you know if it's already compatible with 2024? Right, let me just take a quick look here. We want to, destination is 202. Now, we are at 32,000. The platform altitude here is 2,000, so 30, 60, 90, and 100. So about at 100 nautical miles, we'll begin the descent towards our destination. And we've already tuned in the frequencies there, so we're good. And everything else is looking fine. You can see we're going from position 2 to position 3. Beautiful wings on the 7.4 Classic. Yeah, possibly a lot of you guys are now attending FS Expo, and I hope you guys enjoy the show. It's one of the greatest events for flight simulation. Too bad I couldn't be there this year. Yeah, if the Avanti P180 is already compatible with MSFS 2024, then I'm more than happy to to do it. All right, perfect. The Avanti P180 is developed by, is it Flight Sim Studios? Who's the developer? I forgot who the developer is. I've tried, by the way, I've purchased the Starship. Yeah, very detailed aircraft, but for some reason I didn't like it. I just didn't like the aircraft. It's just, I don't know, maybe just something about it. It's too cluttered. I don't know. It's a very, very detailed aircraft, by the way. But I don't know. Something about the aircraft I didn't like for some reason. Hello there, Samuel. Hi, Q8. How do you navigate in that plane? Can you put waypoint in it? You mean in the 747? So in the 747, you'll have different navigational devices. So if I go to options, you'll see that you have 3 navigational systems you can use. The SIVA INS, which is the one we're using today. And yes, you can add the waypoints to it if you don't want to enter the longitude and latitude positions in the device. I've shown this in the beginning of the stream, how you can do that. You can use the FMC. The FMC is the default X-plane FMC, so you'll have your regular SIDS, stars, and all that good stuff. And the aircraft will pretty much fly your SID and star without too much trouble. So this is, again, what you're all accustomed to. And then you have the LTN92 device, which, again, takes a little bit of learning to do, but it's kind of like the INS. It doesn't have SIDS and stars. You can enter the waypoints, though, of your SID and star if you know them. You can enter them, and the aircraft will fly through those waypoints. I don't think that I've done any flights using the LTN92. Maybe we'll do one a little later. I've checked my earlier streams, and it looks like the last time we flew the 747 was in January of 2025, so it's been 6 months. So yeah, it's been a while, and I'm glad that I'm kind of still remember what to do, because this aircraft definitely requires a lot of things in order to operate it correctly. So how do you navigate? Yes, Flight Sim Studios for the Avanti. All right, perfect. Thank you, Boeing Corp Mike. I will purchase the aircraft maybe in the coming days and do a stream in maybe perhaps sometime next week. If you guys like, I can do one for the Starship as well, but there's a lot of videos on it already. So all right, look at those clouds, guys. Wow. All right, we want to be very careful here with top of descent. because we have to calculate. So you can see the descent to destination is 1,300 feet per minute, and the current distance to destination is 176 nautical miles. So in order to make sure maybe we'll do it at 110 nautical miles, we'll begin the descent towards Schiphol. Look at the clouds ahead of us now. Wow. Look at that. Now that looks absolutely amazing. Very, very nice indeed. Let's take a look. Now that is screenshot material right there, guys. Just gorgeous. Tell you guys, I am starting to like the clouds in X-Plane more than I like the clouds in MSFS, to be completely honest with you. I just find them to be much better, and the variation, the actual scattering of the clouds, the cirrus clouds, so the form, the type of clouds themselves, I think I like them better in X-Plane. And with a little bit more improvement, a little bit more tweaking, I think it's going to look just outstanding. Are you planning to try the Kalimata Concorde? I have flown the Kalimata Concorde. Now, let me just say one thing about the Kalimata Concorde. The shortest flight that you can do with the Kalimata Concorde, if you want to do, for example, JFK to London Heathrow, is about maybe like 3 hours, 3.5 hours, something. With the setup, it's going to bring you to about 4 hours. Unfortunately, guys, I don't have that much time to do those streams, those really long streams. That's simply because of my my work. So I work very long hours. Now, the weekend is where I normally get a chance to relax a little bit and stream for you guys as well. But doing a stream that is more than an hour and a half is really an overkill for me. So I really do apologize. I know a lot of you guys wanted me to do the Kalimata Concorde. I enjoy flying the aircraft offline sometimes, but I very rarely fly it simply because it requires a lot of time. The flight time is very long in the Kalimata. So if you really want to, fly it and show all its features and show how you go to supersonic and go to, 53,000 feet and all that good stuff. So unfortunately, time is not something that I have a lot of, especially with my, responsibilities, the family and all that good stuff. So yeah, my apologies, guys. No worries, Habibi, no worries. Right, V1 loves the Starship, but I also understand what you mean about it being cluttered. I find it very confusing. It's not very confusing. I think the word is we're not used to it, Dougal. I think it's got a lot of panels, and you got to understand what those panels do. But there's something about the way it looks. I just don't like the way the aircraft looks. It doesn't look like an aircraft to me. It looks like something from, like a space movie, like, Star Wars movie or something like that. And I'm not a big fan of science fiction. So I know it's an aircraft that exists in real life, but I don't know. There's just something about the aircraft I do not like. I did a complete flight with it today. It's quite nice. Flies nice. It's very detailed. It's got a lot of very nice features. But I just didn't find it to be, one that I find myself flying a lot. Mr. Boeing AC, welcome. Glad to have you with us. Yeah, the clouds are definitely stunning. Very, very nice clouds. Right. Let me check here, and we are at 141, so another 30 nautical miles, and we'll begin the descent towards our destination. Here's again another look at the external view. Look at this view, guys. Wow. Lovely. So Q8 pilot, what you're saying is you don't like the aircraft, but you really think they picked the right name for it. Yeah, I think they did. Yeah, Starship. Yeah, I think they definitely, the name is very resemblant of what the aircraft looks like. So yeah, it's pretty nice. It's pretty nice for sure. Nice name for a nice aircraft. Oh well, look, again, Black Square is very well known for creating very high fidelity aircraft. So they're excellent, just really excellent aircraft. All of their aircraft, but I prefer their other, like the Bonanza, and they have also the what is it? The Duchess, I think is the other aircraft. They have the very very high fidelity, and I know there's only one developer in that team developing those really high fidelity aircraft. So again, kudos to him for creating such high fidelity aircraft. Very, very good work there on the Starship, but just not my sort of aircraft, if you will. All right, so here I think we're going to begin the descent, guys. Descent to destination 1900. So I am going to reset our MCP altitude to 2,000 feet. Okay, that's 2,000. Now, normally what happens for the descent is if you go to, we're going to try this, okay? So we're going to go out select, and then if you start doing a few hundreds here, it should begin the descent. No, I think I messed this up. We should have done it at the higher altitude. Okay, so what we're going to do is we are going to reduce first our speed to 260 knots. Okay, so now you can see the speed is going to decrease to 260 knots. Actually, 265 is fine. All right, and then what we're going to do is we are going to go to IAS. This is going to disconnect and then we're going to retard the throttles. And we have now begun the descent towards our destination. And I'm going to give it just a little bit of power here to maintain about 2,000 feet. Right, there we go. That's about right. And we'll just continue at the present thrust setting to maintain about 2,000 feet. Let me bring the throttles back just a little bit more. And we can always extend the speed brake if we feel that, you know, we're not doing well in terms of our descent rate. So if we look here now, we can see that still 1951, so we're good here. We're about 104 nautical miles from our destination, so we calculated 100, so that's perfectly fine. A good time to start the descent, to be honest, considering this aircraft and how complex it is. No pitch mode off means it will maintain pitch angle. You need to use VS or IAS. Yeah, so I think we're using IAS, right? Yeah, I think we're using IAS now, correct? Is that... Yeah, I think that's IAS, right? Yeah. All right, so we'll continue the descent now. And we should arrive in approximately 15 minutes or so. Yeah, it's correct now. All right, thanks, Felis. Appreciate it. With lossless scaling, by the way, guys, if you look at the upper left corner of the screen here, you'll see the FPS. So natively, I'm getting 55, about 55, 57 FPS. And this is what lossless scaling is giving me 113. And this experience is very, very smooth, especially with the latest version of the LSG 3.1. It's really, really good. All right, we don't need to do the descent checklist yet. So it will let me go here just so that we know what we're doing. All right, so when we need to do one thing here, we're going to performance calc. We're going to click on the landing performance. So this is the count. We're going to read from this sim the current landing weight, and we're going to read the weather as well. Maybe it will change slightly, and then we're going to click here to set our bugs. So clean configuration 229 knots. We can go to flaps 10. We need to go at 169. VREF is 129. We're going to do flaps 30, 134. Maybe we'll add a little bit to that and land at 140. Yeah, maybe 140 is a better... let me just take a look here. Yeah, V2, yeah, at 140 I think is fine. 140 knots for the final approach. Alright, so we've set our speed bugs, and there you go. You can see all the bugs have already been set. I love this feature, by the way, in the Felis. And if we look at the checklist, so if I go to the checklist and go to next... So that's seatbelt, exterior lights, yeah, so that's below 10,000 feet. This needs to go to radio, and yeah, we'll do it once we pass the last waypoint, which is Bluffa here. This is Bluffa, and it will take us... yeah, we should be all right. Okay, let's take a look at our altitude here, 22,000. Okay. And in the 7.4, you could fly much faster. Normal cruise is 0.84. Ah, gotcha. And optimal descent should be around 290 knots. Oh, okay. Thanks for that, Felis. Appreciate it. I'll make a note of this for our next flight. Good evening, the Flying Scotsman. How are you doing, my friend? All right. If we look here, I'm going to keep the descent rate as is. I'm not going to change it. 74 nautical miles to the destination. We are 20. Yeah, we need about 60. So we're okay. We're not. We're okay. We're fine. All right. We'll reduce the power just a little bit because we don't want to trigger the gear warning horn. Now, after the last waypoint, right here, so the last waypoint is Buffa here. Okay, Bluffa. Whatever it is, right? So this is the last waypoint. Now, after this, we will not have any waypoints in our INS. So we are going to we're going to fly using heading select. So we're going to wait for the aircraft first to set up, and then we will go to radio and go to heading select. So what I want to do now is I want to make sure that I have the correct aircraft heading. So we are at 240. All right, there we go, 240. And we are approximately, okay, 65 nautical miles. So we still have a little bit of distance to cover as we continue to descend. Again, we're descending at a reasonable rate here for our passengers. What is our transition altitude? Let's see, airport elevation. It says transition by ATC. Do you guys know what is the transition level at Schiphol? If you want to add realism, you shouldn't land on runway 27. It is closed due to work in progress, according to NOTAMs. I have seen this actually in SimBrief, but then it gave me that runway, so that's okay. We always get to cheat when we're in a sim. Did you set pressurization for destination elevation? I may miss that. I don't know. Where is it? It's this one, isn't it? Okay, we are here at Bluffa. Okay. Cabin altitude on the flight engineer panel. Oh, you know what? I don't think I've done that. Let's see here. We did not set that. So the weather 1021. Let me set this first. 1021. That's close enough. And this is going to be I forgot where that is. Where is it? The Y scale for the elevation. This one here, altitude. So this needs to be set to... Yeah, that one is set to... destination elevation is it says one... What does it say here? It says elevation is 11 below sea level. So what do you do with that? $3,800 feet in the cabin. Set it to 0. Okay. All right. Let's see here. All right, 0 set. And let's take a look now at where we are. So let me remove that. And all right, so what I'm going to do now, folks, is I am going to go to radio. So we're going to switch this to first. Let me go to radio. We're going to go to heading select. And we are going to fly of a heading of 230. Right, 10,000 feet. We're going to turn on the landing lights. And turn on the passenger fasten seatbelt signs. And we want, let's see. We're going to set this to 240 knots. And if we look here,
10,000.
we need to fly a heading of 210. All right, so let's go to 215 is fine. 210 is fine. There we go. And we're going to set the auto brake to medium. And the altimeter is at 1021. Right, and 1021. Perfect. And now if you look here, we're going towards Tidvo. So we're going to maintain the present heading until we are closer to the airport, and this is where we want to intercept the. So we're going to turn to a heading of 266 to intercept the localizer here. So we're fine now. We're looking good. We'll continue the descent, 7,800. We're slightly above the speed here. We should be at 250 knots. These legacy Boeing are really fun to fly. I had been hoping someone will make them in MSFS like Fly Jason and Felis did on X-Plane. I guess will not happen. Well, we do have the 727 by Flight Sim Studio, which is a really good aircraft to fly. As a matter of fact, it is at par with the Fly Jason 727. Lots and lots of fun to fly the aircraft. So I highly recommend it. And yeah, we're going to continue here. We're looking good. And if we put this on VOR lock, it will show us probably the, if we put this here, okay, we can probably get the readings. Here we go. Okay, 217 degrees in a little bit. Is this on? I'll select yes. Okay. Just making sure. Alright, I'm going to extend the speed brakes a little bit to descend a little bit faster. And I think we can now turn to a heading of 230. .240 and 250. There we go.
5,000 to level off.
Right, 1,000 to level off. We can bring the speed back.
Approach checklist, please.
Seatbelts and shoulder harness.
Check.
Seatbelts and no smoking signs.
On.
Anti-ice.
Off.
Exterior lights.
All right, let's take a look here.
Auto brakes.
Medium.
Radio INS switches.
I know why that didn't like that, so let's close these first. And then we need this one to go
Radio.
on radio.
Flight director computer selectors.
Check.
Brake pressure.
Check.
Altimeters.
1, 0, 2, 1. Set
All
and
right,
cross check.
so now we are
Landing
making
data,
the turn
EPR and airspeed button.
towards the
Set and
airport.
cross check.
Seatbelts and shoulder harness. Check. Fuel panel. Check. Fuel heat. Off. EPR computer. Wait.
All right, let's take this to
Go around.
go around.
Cabin altitude. Check.
Right, we're gonna go to 220
breakers.
knots.
Check. Approach checklist completed.
All right, and now we can go to ILS. And if we look here, you'll see that we're getting very close. I'm going to adjust our heading just a little bit. And we're going to go to flaps 10.
Flaps 10.
Right, looking good.
On the road, 372, wind 120 degrees, 9 knots, runway 15, your potato, winner 128.805, thank you, bye-bye.
All right, why is it doing that? All right, there we go. Okay. It's probably because of the flaps. Right, looks like we've intercepted the localizer. And we can now reduce our speed.
Localizer alive.
All right, localizer alive. Excellent. Let's hold the speed there. All right. Let's go ahead and go to... Right, let's go flaps 15.
Flaps 20.
Sorry, flaps 20. What was our speed? 139, so 140. All right, let's go ahead and
Gear
lower the
down.
landing gear.
Flaps 25. Gears down, green light. Flaps 30.
So I can see the glide slope needle now. I'm going to turn this off. Glide slope active.
Enter 11, hotel Mike, wings 10 degrees, 9 knots, runway 11, clear to land, okay via Alpha 5.
We still don't have visual on the runway. Let me reset my view.
Landing checklist.
Gear.
Down and check.
Down and check. Flaps.
Flaps 30.
Flaps 30. Spoilers.
Armed.
Ignition.
Flight start.
Anti-skid.
Check.
Altimeters. 1, 0, 2, 1. Set and cross-check. Landing checklist completed.
1,000.
Right, 1,000 feet. And let's go ahead and disconnect the autopilot. I don't have a visual. I do have a visual. Okay. All right, we do have a visual now. Some strong winds there.
Glide slope. Glide slope.
Oof.
Glide slope.
Some strong winds
Glide
there.
slope. Glide slope. Glide slope.
Don't sink. Don't sink.
All right, let me turn off the auto throttle. Those winds. Wow. We're gonna float, guys.
Pull up. Glide slope. Glide slope. Pull
50,
up.
40, 30, 20, 10.
Check reverse.
Well, not the best of the landings.
Out, off, reverse. Auto brake off.
But it was an unstable approach. What were the winds like? Let me just check the winds. 14 knot wind. We'll take a look at the replay in just a second here. The good thing is that we made it in one piece. A bit floaty, but not bad, yeah. All right, let's take a quick look here at the replay. Always a pleasure looking at the... Please don't crash. All right. Always a pleasure looking at the Boeing 747 landing. And yeah, it was a bit of an unstable approach. All right, let's start maybe here. Yeah, right here. There we go. Wow, look at that, guys. What a beautiful looking bird. Those 14 knot winds were pretty strong, weren't they? We're way off the center line, almost like on this side, but still a pretty nice looking landing there. Look at this aircraft, ladies and gents. Wow. Just beautiful. We got to do it one more time. Maybe we'll do a wing view. Actually, let's do that. We'll do this view right here. Wow, look at that, guys. Look at those beautiful flaps. Alright, let's track the flaps.
Flaps up.
And we're going to disarm the speed brakes off. Landing lights off. Runway turn-off lights off. And strobe lights off as well. And we can start the APU. We'll go that side. I think those are very small parking spots. Tell you guys, this was a really enjoyable flight aboard the Felis 747. Right, and we can pick one of those spots here. Let's see, maybe right there. Or right here, whichever one. I think we'll go to this one, to the gate here. All right, and parking brake is set. All right, and let's see here. We can turn off the. Let's bring up the APU first. So we're going to turn on the bleed air. All right, let's turn off the aircraft engines. fuel off, and fuel off. Right. No, the APU never started. That's all right. Okay, here we go. All right. So we're off the gens. We are on the APU. And we can come here now and turn off the beacon light. Nav light off. And that is it. Wow. Very, very nice aircraft. So what do you guys think? Nice landing. Thank you, Wasim. Appreciate it, my friend. Glad that you stayed the entire course. Yeah, the APU is off, Felis. So yeah, it looks like it never started. Well, ladies and gents, this really pretty much brings us to the conclusion of our live stream today. I thoroughly enjoyed flying the Felis 7.4 Classic for you guys. I hope that if you enjoyed the stream as much as I enjoyed streaming it for you. We will be back again with another stream in a couple of days, and we will more than likely do a flight aboard the iFly 737 MAX 8. There are a few things I want to show you guys in that aircraft, so that's going to be scheduled in the next couple of days. But until then, please take care of yourselves and each other, and I will see you all very soon. Thanks for tuning in, and have a pleasant evening. Bye-bye for now.